Finished off setting up the inventory item and carried through a purchase order to get quantity within the inventory in Dynamic 3i. And this allows us to carry into the next step, which is entering a sales order for the item against a particular customer. So we'll go into the order processing menu and start off with entering an order and see how simple it is to carry an order through the cycle. When we get into the order entry, it's asking me for the ship to and bill to, which are all the customers and the relationship between customers with respect to bill tos and ship tos are all set up and defined in the customer master maintenance. I'm going to enter in an order for one of my favorite used customers, and the system will default to my warehouse location. It will also default the order type that this customer usually is associated with. I can override it and change it to any particular order that can be handled by Dynamic 3i, but we'll just leave it at the normal order. The system will ask me for a purchase order, which is optional, and it actually can even have validation done on it to see that, or give me a warning if that purchase order has already been used. This helps in not keying in the same order again. For our purposes here, it's set up to just require that a purchase order be entered. And being multi-warehouse Dynamic 3i is asking me for the warehouse location that this particular order is going to go against. I'm going to override it and change it to a different warehouse location, because I can place an order to a customer at any warehouse location. And as far as the requirements for order entry are concerned, that's about it for the header. And I can go directly down to the detail level here, and you see the order date defaults, and the amount is start tallying up my order across the bottom. So the order item that we had set up, I'll enter one for M3A, the quantity that we brought into the inventory or that's available at this point in time directly real time is 100. And I can enter in an order quantity we'll take 10 of these. And the system will go out and it will say it's going to ship 10, and there's no back orders. If there wasn't enough available, it would automatically calculate the back order. It's gone out to the pricing file and pulled in the $7.95 that we had set up when we gave this inventory, defined this inventory item. We gave it a cost, we gave it a price that would go out the door. So the system automatically reads that and defaults the price in there. If there's any going across the detail line, this is it as far as I could save the order right now. Any other information that I wanted to put against this detail line, maybe a shipping method for the particular product, or if I wanted to override the expected ship date, if it was going to be out a couple of days or over a couple of days, and the expected delivery date based on the inventory item is going to be expected on the 15th. Based on an expected ship date of the 12th. So there's certain parameters here that allow me to override that ship date or override the delivery date. Some other information that continuing across the detail line that might be useful is when the system was automatically set up for a sales to this customer, a salesman and district is associated with the customer. All this information gets tagged onto the detail line of the item, as well as the underlying general ledger based on the reason code, and that has to do with the groupings and setups of the product groups associated with the product, and that gives the umbrella of the general ledger and how it's going to post out the sales and where it's going to hit the GL with respect to this item being sold. Going back to just the plain simple detail line, saving this will give us an order number, and we see order number 2317 gets assigned to this, and there's a total dollar value of $79.50 for 10 at $7.95. And that's the order entered in the system. Now, the next step is to basically go through and do a shipping confirmation. Right off the bat, directly from this order, I don't have to go back out to the menu. I can issue a packing slip. This button became available as soon as the order was committed to the database, so 2317. If I print the packing slip here now, what this does is automatically call out the packing slip print, which could be done to a screen or a printer in the inventory warehouse location, so that it uses the pick slip and the packing slip to go out against the order. We'll just run this directly here. It can be printed or reprinted. The order is defaulted in here. and we're going to run it to screen, and we'll get a packing list that can be printed for order number 2317. And that's generated on the system and can be used to be shipped out with the item. So when that finishes and completed, we come back to the order, and we're basically ready at the next stage to go and do a shipping confirmation of this item. In the menu here, the sequence of events, we organized it so that it's basically the steps involved in entering an order, just likewise with inventory and purchasing, entering a purchase order, etc. We can do a packing slip print. We did that from the online button on the order entry. Optional, do customer label prints. Ultimately, you're going to get down into here for do an invoice print, a journal, which hits the general ledger, and then an update, which puts it into the receivable side. When we do an order entry shipping confirmation, that screen again is very simple. It automatically goes into query mode. We can query up 2317, and we actually have it retrieved. And the system again assumes that I'm going to ship everything out, so it automatically defaults all the information. It defaults the detail line to a ship quantity of 10. And in the same manner on the purchasing side, we can finalize this. I do not want to see this as an outstanding order for shipment. I'm shipping the whole thing, so I can I'll flag it and close it off. Or I can simply just call this up, and once I hit save, it goes from a printed status to an actual ship confirmed. So as far as the system is concerned, my inventory warehouse has shipped this item out. It's ready to go. The information that carries off here on this screen, the ship to information, in case the shipping was going to a different location, even though it could be the same customer, you can override this information. The bill to information is captured here with respect to who the bill person is and the terms that they are associated with. And any specific header information required for the order, like special instructions or whether it was freight paid and stuff like that. And even in the case of the number of labels that were associated with the item for the optional packing slip label print. Once this is shipped out, it's ready to be invoiced. There's optional bill of lading and export confirmation for those type of orders, but ultimately we're going to carry this order through into the receivable side, and we want to print the invoice. So we'll do an invoice run for all warehouses and all branches. By leaving them blank and doing a print, it will process all the orders that are available to have the invoice generated. So once we run this here for an invoice date of today, we will actually see our order come up, and we can see the invoiced orders for December 12th. And the system will produce to here, and there's our order for there's a couple of orders in here, and because we did all of them, there is our order there for the microfiber cloth for $79.50. It has now been assigned, not only do we have the order number 2317, we also have an invoice number that we can now track on the receivable side for Robert Creeks. And that is how simple it is to carry an order through the order cycle. The last two steps that would be done was actually turned into, would be to journalize this. Again, we'll do this for all, and we'll print it. And this will show us the GL postings that are going to occur for that particular order and those other orders that were invoiced there. So we have the invoice 97 and order number 2317. These are the dollar values, and then when we run the invoice update to get it into the receivable, this gives me the general ledger posting for this period. Again, I'll do a detail postings and run it for everything, and it will take everything that's available to be posted and process, and then we'll see our current processing order. There's 2317 come up in the window there, and we'll see the postings that's going to be done at the GL level with respect to the definitions of the reason codes and the product groups and the item that was ordered on the order. And there's the $79.50 going to the accounts receivable and hitting the certain costs of the inventory item, and hitting their sales for $79.50. So this is the general ledger side that's being done behind the scenes. Now that we've done that, that order is now turned over to our financials receivable function for the customer.